Hey friends, hey well, hello. How is everybody? Thank you for joining. It's been a little while. Good old Sunday morning live stream. How wonderful. Just gonna point the camera in another direction so we don't get too laggy. How are we all? Good morning. Hello. Good to see you all here. Familiar faces as usual. Gator the God, thank you my mate for joining. And Sully. I think I saw Sakura Gaming in here somewhere. Yeah, good morning everyone. I hope you're all well. Where you're watching from? Is it morning? It's most probably Arvo. Sunset City. What's going on? I've got some seriously messed up mods. I need to update my own mod list. Yes, it is morning here. Sorry about the lateness. I slept in, so my voice is still a bit shaky. Why am I live streaming always so late? This is like Sunday morning for me, so this is always the best time to do a live stream. But yeah, I think it's Saturday evening for most of you guys. I believe, unless you're watching from Australia or New Zealand. Yeah, 4:30 p.m. I mean that's pretty good, isn't it? 4:30 is pretty good. Well, today, so by the way, sorry about the lack of video. I totally messed up. I accidentally deleted probably about 5 minutes of footage. I stayed up really late recording it all, and then I deleted it. It was very frustrating, but that's alright. I'm gonna save it for next weekend. I am gonna stream for probably about an hour and a half, and then I've got to go. But what I'm thinking is this whole section over here is just, it's been bare and open for far too long. I feel like I wanna build something here. I wanna kind of just dive straight in, you know, and build like a good chunk of it. But I am struggling with what to do here because actually let's just get a little bit of Google Earth up. Shall we? Bit of Google Earth to start our day. I'm struggling because I think it's just mostly residential, but the way it looks on Google Earth, I feel like it's kind of modern, you know, because it's, you know, present day. But I want present day. I want old day, you know, 80s day. So I need to figure out how this is going to look in the 80s, you know? Like, I figured it would be probably, you know, all this like low density residential, probably no solar panels, but I've kind of got the same highway that stretches through, kind of turns into like a stroad a little later on, which I've also got, and you know, all this sort of area around here I'm kind of pretty confident about. Like, I kind of know what I want to do, but then, you know, obviously this area down here feels kind of modern, so I feel like I can't really do that. So yeah, it's a bit tricky to figure out exactly what to put here. So if you've got any suggestions, let me know. The water's edge I feel like is going to be the hardest part, just because you got a lot of like new developments and stuff. Whereas I sort of feel like some of these were probably built a while back. You know? You know? Do I live stream regularly? Not really. Not really. Because I can only really live stream on a Sunday morning. And you know, it's a Sunday morning. Sometimes it's a little much for a morning. You know what I mean? More parking lots? Yeah, sure. I just feel like they just don't. Yeah, you're probably right. Some parking lots would be good. Not good, just probably realistic. 5:30 in Singapore. That's. I'm glad. I'm glad I got you up that early. Put some industry. Ah, yes. I agree. I agree. Actually, I believe... Do we need it? We don't really need it, but this area down here is actually going to be quite industrial. So what I'm actually thinking is that this road here will be kind of the divide between... I'm going to put it on pause. The divide between industry and residential. So actually, yeah, I think you're right. I think some industry would be good. Yeah? Would be a good idea. An old meatpacking district. Industry and docks. Outdoor aquarium. You know what? They're really not bad ideas, because I feel like this area around here, like, do you want to check out my terrible excuse for industry? It's just like such a nightmare. It's just the worst. But eventually this is going to be like some giant port. So I feel like industry right here would actually be quite nice. Plus we've got this just absolutely ugly interchange, which I love. So we got to keep that. But yeah, I think you're right. So maybe industry on this side, and then over here we'll do a bit of residential, and they're kind of like this sort of stuff. You know, it's a bit of wetlands and, you know, bits and pieces. So yeah, maybe we'll do a bit of that. Outdoor aquarium, yeah, I agree. I agree. I think I already said that. But anyway, are you all well? So this is kind of like one of those weird roads, where I feel like this is... So my imagination for this area is that this road, you know, this is like a very old road that would have gone into Sunset City, still does, and, you know, has always followed this path. It's been a long pre-existing road, and then this highway has been kind of like tacked onto it. So this whole area here is a bit of a new addition to this whole area, to the city. Even this here. So I sort of feel like this road should probably continue as if it was gonna connect here, and then that way it would have at some point branched off into downtown, and then probably would have had a much smaller road going over the bridge here, but now it's a actual highway. So with that in mind, can you just... No, we're gonna get rid of you guys. I know I need commercial right now, but it's not gonna happen. Sorry, bub. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean about that road? Just like a nice old road. Does mean though we're gonna have a little bit of a crazy intersection down here. How's it hanging? Hey, Stephen Hayner. It's hanging good. I don't know. I'm good, man. I do want to do something a little bit different to Miami, of course. Move out of the way. You always go back there, and I don't know why. It's very annoying. Do you guys just have those mods and tools that just like default back to how they're like just different positions every time we load up? That's one of them. You know, I almost wouldn't mind this road going for a little bit longer. How good is this music, by the way? I love my streaming playlist. Oh, this is gonna be very tricky. You know, like I feel like it's probably disconnected at some stage. You know? But I still want this to be well, I guess if you're gonna cross, let's say if you're industry and you're needing to cross the bridge, then you wouldn't actually take this road. This road would be purely for people who are going into downtown. Right? Like, you'd only use that road if you're going downtown. What are we doing today? Doing some residential, and probably going to spend ages working on this intersection. Because it's going to be a nightmare. You know? Or we just drag a couple of these and just see where they're going to go. Question is as well, am I going to... excuse me, still waking up, voice. Come on, voice, wake up. I'm going to use some planning roads, so I'm not spending any money. Question is, are we going to break the grid around here as well? At some point, it would be good to break it. You know, because it's fine. A rigid grid is fine, but maybe this is the place where we break it. You know, break the rules. It would be cool to make it appear the road is coming off the highway has been realigned. Maybe to make it intersect with the 6-lane arterial. Yeah, it could actually. I always like it when you can see when you can see where the roads used to go and then they've like covered it up. You see that a lot with old train lines. You know what I mean? So like it actually have, let's say this road went through here or whatever. You'd actually have like a bit of a path where it used to be. Might be like some new residential or whatever. I always like, I love that. Would be kind of cool to do that, in fact. These are all just planning roads, by the way, guys. So don't get too attached, you know. You know what? Insane what I just said. We could actually do exactly that here. For instance, we could have maybe this road just connects to this one. And then these roads, like that's where it used to go. And then we just kind of keep them there for a second. And then once we figured out all our roads, we'll delete them and then we'll fill them in as if the city has filled them in over time. You know what I mean? And, you know, this highway, this intersection probably isn't that old in the 80s. I reckon it's probably like, I don't know. This interchange was probably built in the 60s or whatever. So it's only like 20 or 30 years old. Yeah, drop bears are really dangerous. Very dangerous. Have I considered changing my name to current inflation? Yeah, maybe like, I don't know, $8.40 or something. Do you know what I mean? What do you reckon? Do we do something like that? I'm just gonna leave it there for a sec. Just ignore that craziness, because it probably doesn't make a huge amount of sense having all that unless I was going to potentially break the grid a little bit. What are they doing in Miami? Let's just have a little squiz. Hey Miami, what are you doing down here, huh? What do you think you're doing down here? You know, we've got a couple of like roads kind of going diagonal. Hey Norm, don't spam the chat, big fella. We'd like to keep the chat nice and clean. Thanks. I'll see your comments, most probably. You know, that's kind of cool. Look at that. You know, just a little brokenness. You know, this one kind of, you know, all this is going the same direction and then kind of just gets a little bit mixed up around here. Except for around here, that's not. So I guess more or less it kind of keeps the same. Except for this little spot here, which is kind of fun, isn't it? It's fun when it breaks. Just a smidge. Maybe we do that. Just a little. Can I add a theme park? Yeah, but not here, mate. I feel like that's a spot for elsewhere. That's kind of cool. So I might try and do one of those. One of those. I should add a new person to the storyline. Yeah, I agree. In fact, well, I don't know. Sully, what do you reckon? How much do we spill the beans? Sullivan? Sullivan? What do you think? He's still here? So, maybe maybe. I think that might need to cross the river. Or maybe not. Let's just have a little play with some of these big roads. So I want to space out some of these avenues. I feel like wherever this one's going to be, it needs to connect back up. So basically as well in this area, I'm also thinking this is where the metro line continues to go. And I'm also thinking that the last stop is going to be here. I'm also thinking this might be a good spot for the university, kind of just on the fringes of the city. You know? Sully, yeah, go for it. So Sully and I are working on, well, when I say we, Sully's the man behind it, but Sully is working on some custom assets that are going to be just far better details and far more animated versions of the characters that we've been adding in. Now that was actually meant to be this weekend, but I stuffed that up. So that'll be next weekend. So the first one's gonna be Mike Bergenzy, just looking just way nicer. So that's exciting. But yes, I agree, we do need some extra characters. We've got so far a female character. I'm actually not going to show them, Sully. They have to wait for next week. But I've started. We've got a female character on the way. You know. So that'd be fun. Thing is, you got to also try and imagine where these roads would have like continued to connect, but it might have been disconnected for whatever reason. But it's always hard when you work on a smaller scale. Go diagonal like the freeway. Yeah, you're probably right, actually. I think if there's going to be a university here, there probably won't be that avenue. Or there might be. Mike is getting an upgrade for sure. But yeah, we do need to come up with some storylines for these characters. This female character we're adding is like a pop star. Got no name for her though. She's inspired by, I don't know, we don't actually have any inspiration for her. Storage unit complex, yeah, I'm sort of thinking that might be kind of cool in a spot like that, you know? So the road connects there. And it's going to connect there. It probably don't really need to connect it anywhere else along here. Because if you think about it, around this way, it's only really the Seminole Keys. And at the moment, it's just that, you know, Santa Julia. There's also going to be another one down there. But not a huge amount of traffic. You can actually already see this. There's a bit of traffic, but it's not tons. And the people who are going to be using these roads here are actually just going to be residents or students going to the uni. Have an election, and oh, that would actually be kind of fun. I would like there to be a mayor character. You know, that might be kind of cool. Should I keep this triangle we got going on, and we have some sort of point here? And I don't want to develop this area too much. I don't want it to be too developed up, but I do want it to be like full of residential, but nothing like too tall. I don't think I read any comments on it, but what do you think about that university campus going there? I feel like it's a pretty good spot. Bit out of the city. There's gonna be like scattered residential through there too. Only if the mayor is unbelievably sketchy. I kind of want him to be like a real stress head, you know, just making all these dodgy decisions because he's just like an absolute fool. That's what I'm sort of thinking for the mayor. Right, I'm gonna get these planning roads, and we'll just have a little play with some of these. Of course. Of course this isn't going to be a perfect grid. You silly bugger. $2.20. One of these days, my grid's going to be... You just wait. One of these days, my grid's going to be so perfect. You're all going to love it. You know, let's change these from being that color. That's the key to these planning roads, my friends. Just change the color. And then that way they're not as annoying. Alright, well, we've already stuffed up the grid, so let's just push on. Yeah, maybe something like that. What's this one doing? Is it kind of a little bit more square? Kind of like that, maybe? And that can be a small road. And I doubt they'll be connected, you know? I probably won't even keep them connected. But that's fine. And I feel like that could be residential. This could be industry, that could be residential. This could be like a... I don't know, I mean, if this is all going to be industry around here, this could be like a bit of a mixed zoning, maybe? Can I be mayor? No, I am mayor. I think it's going to be me. Or maybe it's Drew Dollars. That would be fun. Maybe a full mayor? What do you mean, just like a bumbling idiot? I do kind of like that idea. The mayor's just this... making all these dumb decisions, being influenced by all these dodgy characters. In fact, Sully, I kind of feel like the mayor needs to be... I feel like I might need to figure him out sooner than later, hey? Don't you think, Sul? Damn you, $2! Just... maybe change where the road is. You know what? I could. Let's just do that. Get out of here. Get out of here, you cheeky road. In the wrong spot. Well, I don't even know if they're in the right spot. Oh, stuff it, they are. They are. There we go. Let's just connect that guy up. Hello, my friend. Welcome to the city. I don't want to make it too... I don't want to leave the university too large, but I also don't want to squeeze it in, you know? University. There. Actually, I had a plan on my... drop a plan about all this. Airport. We're going to build more of the city before we build an airport, but I know exactly where that guy's going. So originally I also thought... I'm just looking at my iPad, by the way. Just give me 2 seconds. Originally I had plans to also include some sort of golf course here, but I kind of feel like we already have a golf course pretty close. I think I might just leave it. Mayor in the next batch? I agree. Good idea. We've already got probably enough coming along. A fruit packing would be cool close to the docks. Actually, that actually would be a good addition around here, because I feel like that's kind of part of the old industry around here. You know, like I wouldn't mind there to be kind of like old industry in this section. Because I reckon like this area, I mean, you can imagine in 2020, this would be like a prime real estate right here. But I reckon back in the 80s, this spot here, it's probably not that nice. You know, 80s is still, people aren't really loving living close to the city. Like they're starting to like it, but they don't really like it that much. The question is, do we keep these roads, or are we just going to connect it here? Let's pull that baby up. Holy poll. Let's do a poll. How the hell do you do a poll again? Alright. Keep diag roads? You guys know what I'm talking about. Alright, so before I ask my community, what I'm asking you guys is, these roads here, if we keep them, then they continue to stay along here and we just integrate it into like all that, you know? Or, and I imagine as well, there would be a slightly more complex intersection here with slip lanes and all that great stuff. And then this would just be kind of like a more chill road. Or do we delete them and in its place build kind of like industry that's only been built kind of more recently, kind of taking up those gaps, and maybe those gaps still exist. I don't know. just some thoughts. I kind of like both ideas. I should probably best play because we don't really have that much money. I mean, 400,000 is fine, but it's not. It's also not great, is it? And I reckon we can just continue some grids. Does this follow? I kind of feel like there's like a community, like a neighborhood that sits in there. In the sense of, probably has its own road layout. Where's Google Earth? Hey baby. Welcome back. You know what I mean? Well, this is what I mean. Roads that, you know, lots of some cul-de-sacs. You know, because these roads are doing kind of interesting stuff. Like, look at this. Diagonal. Got a couple of little bushy, beautiful places here. Look at these. Look at these big old places. Hey chat, do you guys live here? Anyone live here? Look at this place. A little bushy. So nice. What's going on down here? Look at that. What? That's fun. I should probably include some little interesting bits of road. So look at that. Just a little bend in there. I bet if I did that, if I built that, people would say, "Oh, that wouldn't exist in a real city." You know? No, they would just drive. They'll just make it connect all the way. No, cities just do whatever they bloody like. Look at this, just bending around, doing all over, doing whatever the hell they want. So should we. In City Skylines, not in life. All right. So what are we thinking? It's looking like people want me to keep that road. You crazy cats, keep that road. I'll keep it. I'm happy to. I'll keep it. Does make my life a little tricky though. But I'll do it. I'll do it for you guys. Any more votes? Because it looks like we're going to keep it. Keep on putting the game on pause. 161 votes. Do we keep that road? What do you think, chat? Last 30 seconds. I reckon some of those crazy squiggly roads get in here, you know? We just have a bit of fun with it. Ah, man, can someone make me another coffee, please? That would be so lovely. Alright, that's it. We're keeping it. Make it a pedestrian road? Well, I don't think it would be a pedestrian road if it was in an industrial zone. I kind of feel like if it's in an industrial zone, then they would probably keep it all pretty ugly and stuff. You know? Build the oval about? Yeah, I think that would be quite fun. Well, I mean, it's all connected up now. I think they're all pointing in the right direction, and no one's using it. So it really goes to show how important this road's going to be. But anyway, I reckon I'm going to make a pretty basic connection here, and then we'll get back to our roads. Our roads for the residential. So yeah, see how we go. Oh, they're probably not using it because it's a planning road. Oh no, I think they can still use those roads. Alright, so let's just connect these bad boys up, and then we'll worry about how they look and function a little later. They should all go to the same intersection. I know, that does not look good. It's gonna look great, I promise. I promise you. What I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna convert. I need to find, at the moment I'm just using that road for pretty much all of them. All of these. All these bigger roads. But I do feel like I need to use some others. Problem is, like, these ones you can't zone on them. Which might not be the worst thing. Could use one of these ones. I don't like the other ones. I like the nice median in the middle. You know, let's just go with that. I wonder if I can, in fact, make it so you can zone on them. Baby, that's great. That works lovely. Alright. Fantastic. Yes. But they shouldn't be like that. Let's use some of these beautiful ones. Like them. Okay. There we go. Oops. That's better. Not that one. I need to cull some of these roads. I've got a couple of non-versions of these. Someone just said, make a version of Donald Trump's mansion somewhere in Sunset City. Does he have a mansion in Miami? He probably does. There should be a Donald Trump type of character in the city. That'd be fun, wouldn't it? Now, I think that road. So this is what I'm thinking for that road. Let's see. I think I can turn that off. That's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. What about if I go like, let's see, no controller, space those things out. Like that. Do a bit of that. I don't know if that's working. That's probably not going to work, is it? Anthony Albanese. Yeah, maybe in Oceania. There we go. Couple of those lanes, you know. And that guy needs to be kind of shifted over here. Oh, hello. That's nice. Can I do the same for this guy? Okie dokes. Not bad. Probably should space out some of these guys. Like that. You can do a little bendaroo. That's kind of alright. Make an influential flat earther. Well, I think they definitely didn't have the term influencer back in the 80s. definitely would have been. Definitely been flat earthers, right? Most probably. When do I think the airport is coming? Look, not for ages. I really need to build the city first, you know? When am I going to build the cargo harbor? So look, I mean, all those builds, like cargo harbor, Sunset Beach, which is going to be the, which is going to be like over here, you know, this whole area. I really want to get to those places like sooner than later, but the thing is, I just want to also make sure the city is looking pretty well established first, and get that all sorted. You know? Is Sunset City going to be big? Yeah, I mean, it's already shaping up to be my biggest city. That really needs to kind of come out here. But look, I'm just going to kind of keep this pretty just bare bonesy for at least this stream. Like that's a bit wonky still, but that's fine. I'm going to leave it at that. Just because I kind of want to just sit on it, have a think about it. These roads here sort of feel like could, in fact, let's get rid of this middle part. We'll do some beautiful planting in here. Where's my actual... Oh, I'm changing the strength. I was like, oh god, am I glitching out here? I could do something like that. With a bit of surface painter. And then this is a little... Well, there we could kind of go like... And that's how you fix it. It's a little better. I could shift it, but I feel like I might just leave it. And at the moment, that's like looking massive, isn't it? It looks so massive. But I will, when you add, when I do intersection marking tool, I'll be able to like extend that all the way over here, and you know the lines are going to help it like just to scale down a little bit more. But for now, like that's kind of the shape of it. And that's kind of all I'm really after at this point. It's just the general shape of it. And you know what? I actually feel like that's just too close for a node. I would like that just to be one segment. But close enough. You know, like no one's driving up that road. Unless you're like working on an industry or something. Press play. How's it going to perform? Probably pretty poorly. But luckily, not a huge amount of people are actually going to be using this road. I'm extending this because I want this to be a slip lane. But yeah, I think that's fine. But yeah, it looks massive. It looks really weird, but I think it's going to look fine when we have lines and it's all connected up. You know what I mean? You guys know what I mean. 420 people watching. That's pretty cool. Nice to see you all. Thanks for watching. Is this your first stream? Instead of roads, I could add alleyways behind the houses to fill in the space and add detail. Yeah, I wonder... We could actually go for... Well, look, I've probably already got the space. I think I've already figured out these roads, unfortunately. But yeah, I could have done that. I do plan to do some alleyways in other parts of Sunset. Ooh. Do you guys see that? The game just froze. Oh god, that's always a scary thing. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna keep the game on pause. just to be on the safe side. It's been a little bit glitchy. For an industry area that's big enough. Yeah. I'm not gonna... I actually think... Let me know what you guys reckon as well. But I reckon we have some docks that kind of stick out of here. And keep that all pretty industrial. Like, all along here is going to be industry. We could actually put in some of those warehouses. Somebody said a fruit packing industry. I actually think I've got, like... We haven't really done much farming. In fact, we haven't done, like... There's no farming on the map at the moment. What am I looking for? What are they doing in there? Oh, look at that. Yup. That's a great looking place. But yeah, we could actually place some of... excuse me. You know, like, they could actually be a good fit. Actually, that's... that's perfect. Although that's a toy shop. I don't really want a toy factory. I want a fruit factory. But I reckon I might even do a custom one. But yeah, we could actually do some of, like, these. That sort of stuff. But I'm not going to do industry today. Because actually we don't have any demand for it. I would like to at least start placing down some of the houses around here. First time watching the stream? That's great. Yeah, a couple of people watching for the very first time. Remember to save often. Yeah, I probably should, but I kind of also don't want to get into that save options. I don't want you guys... I think there might be some spoilers in there. Alright, so I actually kind of feel like the road layout's already a little bit interesting. I might actually expand on some of these roads, because I feel like they're pretty much exactly where I want them to go. And these roads are actually going to be fine here because I don't think I really want to zone on them. I think I would like to zone on these roads. So I can, in fact, use those bad boys. Like that. Would like to do some interesting roads though. Yeah. If that's industry, then let's make these roads a little different. I want that to be kind of differently represented to this. So let's get some smaller roads. Do some wiggles. I should make a drug story line because it is the 1980s. I agree. I'm trying to imagine though. Like I would like to try and keep it somewhat realistic to, you know, I think like drugs in the 80s was pretty bad. But it would be fun to do it in a way that was like, rather than talking about it like that, made it as if it was something different, you know? Like people were, you know, there's like a craze of like coconuts or something, you know? Get rid of all these roads. Wonder if we can do something kind of interesting around here. There's an Instagram account I follow that posts just great road layouts all the time, and I keep on thinking, gotta screenshot some of these to use a little later. So something I want to do is, I don't really want to develop too much of the waterfront here. I kind of want to keep it a little bit... Tomatoes. Yeah, like The Simpsons. Wonderful. I'm just having a little look on Google Earth. You know, because you've got some places like this. I mean, these are so... Like, what is going on down there? Oh, we're getting some great suggestions there. What is this? Is that someone's house? Oh, it's a... Is that someone's house? What is that? It's a school. And that's another school. Ah, oh, dudes. Come on. Is that a park? These are all mansions. So I feel like we probably could actually keep some of this space open for some mansions. Or at least like being developed. But I do have to keep in mind that it's still kind of industry also close by. So maybe... What do we do? What do we do? Some disco. Yeah, I'm sort of feel like I'd like to do an episode kind of focus on disco. Or like a nightclub, you know? Have I been to Miami or Florida before? No. I've always wanted to go. Just because it's like a pretty interesting place. Sunset City Zoo eventually? Yeah, I think I want to do like a big park somewhere. It's going to be kind of all part of the same thing. But I probably won't do like a huge amount of detail on it. I feel like I've built enough zoos to... I don't know. I don't really want to do a super detailed one. So I think for now I'm going to keep space around the waterways. But for the future... We've got a couple of options, you know? Like, I feel like I could take inspiration from a lot of these places. It's so hard when you do things in like a time period because you gotta... There's only so many reference pictures I can see. But all that, you know? Like, it would be kind of cool to leave some of these spaces open. Have some of these like little waterways. But for now, let's just keep it open. So, don't go too close to the water, $2. Leave a bit of space. Leave space. This little square in here. Let's see what sort of roads I can do. So the trick is that I need to like maximize on the amount of space I'm using, but then also kind of make the roads do something slightly more interesting than other parts. You know, if roads, so if houses are not zoning on that, we can actually get nice and close like that. Just bear with me, my friends. I know that's not perfect there, but that's fine. I think it's because, let's just, there we go. Lovely. Do I want that road to be just as big? Maybe I feel like that should go into a smaller road. So I'm just having a little look on good old Google Earth. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of smaller roads around there. Yeah, stuff it. That's gonna be a small road. A small-ish road. It's tricky. So I'm still trying to imagine what's going to be there. Oh, so all that area was industrial land converted in the late 80s, early 90s. So showed the transition of abandoned industry and new mansions. Yes. Yes, I do really like that idea. So for instance, let's say that all this is industry. Like that's still operating industry. And we could do like big warehouses and just like pockets of like abandonment and stuff. And then this side is kind of like a new, like let's make this a brand spanking new development. And this is like just beautiful. There'll be docks still around here, and this would kind of be maybe old docks, you know? We could just like kind of fun it in there. I'm gonna leave that a little open. But I feel like that road's probably a better fit, but I don't really want that one. Let's keep converting some of these roads. It's so hard when I've got no trees around. Sorry, I'm just kind of leaving you guys out of the picture. I'm just looking at Google Earth again. No frame of reference. Really need to like have a look at some of these places to see. They're all kind of just like small avenues. Lots of small guys. Oh, a couple little roundabouts. That's fun. I know you guys love roundabouts. Yeah, what did happen to the city name? It's got something's going on down there. I don't really know what it is. You know, maybe these alts, like maybe some of them are fine. Not that color though. Let's get that back to. We'll go those guys. I think this is the one I'm looking for. It's like, I want a road between this and an avenue. But I can't find it. It's driving me nuts. Unless I expand it using no controller. I could do that. But for now, I think that's fine. I feel like it is what it is. Let's just pretend we do that. Or should it follow the same angle as that road? That is the question. I feel like there's like some kind of fun kind of intersection here, you know? I'm just going to connect these guys up. Or, you know what? Maybe that road's just... Maybe that's kind of like the end. Maybe that road feeds into, like, a new development. Use no controller to widen it? Yeah, okay. Let's do that then. Let's do that. Maybe this road just feeds into, like, a new development. And then this road also feeds into it. So it's kind of like... That's how you access... That's how you get into this area. It's like a weird... It's a bit of a weird spot. You know? Let's just focus on this road. It's so tricky. I like that this is like a brand new development though. That does make... I feel like it makes it kind of interesting. Let's make these nice roads. And... maybe something like... Thing is, I actually don't know if I want houses zoning on that. I think I kind of only want them zoning on these roads, you know? So then maybe this road, like that. Do we have kind of got room like that? But I don't know if I want to do that. I mean, we could always have some sort of park in there. Let's have a little squeeze at some of the houses we could use. Don't look at them. Don't look at them. An old fort would be kind of fun. I don't think around here though. I actually got an idea where I want to do that. Actually, I should probably upgrade that. Actually, you know what? Do you see how it kind of... maybe not. This doesn't need to be that wide. So let's just stop that. There's just not enough in between roads. Like, I don't really want this road. Yeah, I think it's just... I think you guys are right. I think it's just a matter of using no controller here. I think it's just a matter of using no controller. So I'll do that. So if that road's like that, these roads are kind of doing this. I'm going to start placing down some of these roads. And then these houses. And then I'll think about this area. But this area could actually be, you know, a lot of these places have got some sort of like recreational area in the middle. But I also sort of feel like maybe it's a bit larger than just that. Let's have a look at some of the houses. I think we're going to search for... I don't know if I've actually made them all into... Right. Asset creator. Gonna search for myself. Now these houses, I think I've made some houses that are pretty close to what I want. Maybe some of this mid-century? Oh, no. I thought I made these 4. That is 4. That's $2. You've made that a 5. Oh, it's because I've made that smaller. Doofus. Alright. Let's try that again. Shall we? Okay, well now we actually got spruce. Oh, not quite. Could do that. Just as like an idea, just let's not get too attached to it. Alright, let's not get too attached to that. It always is going to look so much stranger when you're looking at it without any actual houses on it. Is that in the middle? It's kind of close to the middle. Let's play some houses. Let's play some houses, see what happens. In my opinion, the industry is more inlet towards the airport and outskirts of the city. The waterfront is the oldest part of the city and has the most housing and commercial, not industry. Yeah, I agree. We've actually got a couple of spots for industry. So this is like the only industry close to the city. And industry like was close to the city and then it got pushed out. And this is like the next push out. And then I've also got industry out here, which is like the outskirts of the city. And then my airport will eventually go about there. And that's where I'll have a big chunk of industry. And then we've also got here. And then that's kind of probably it. So yeah, I mean, that's gonna be industry, but it's also gonna be not that large. Like that's pretty much it for it. So let's go mid-century houses. What do you think? I'm just gonna place these out, and I wonder if these are the right fit. I feel like they might. I don't know. I feel like I might want to go a different style. Write a number, and that's not going to be. Oh, that's all right. Maybe I could I can delete these if these aren't going to be the right ones. I feel like that's. I got to try and keep it all the same type. So I could go houses like that. Mid-century houses. What do you reckon? I mean, on Google Earth, they're kind of a little bit more the orange rooftops. So I don't really... I've got some, but... Mid-rises. What time is it here in Australia? It is 9:30. I'm going to go in half hour because we're going to go to the beach. Because it's hot. It's hot. These look cool, but I think it might be in the wrong spot. They might not work in that spot. A path in, yeah, right. A path there would actually work really well. I mean, I wish I could place it right in the middle. But I don't think my houses are going to space out like that. So I might actually have to just go. You know, something like that. Is making custom houses in Asset Editor hard? Not really, but it's just kind of time consuming, and you can't go in with all your mods and assets. You have to actually you have to cull a few. Yeah, it glitches out if you have too many. Name of the houses. These are the mid-century ones, but I've just detailed them up in Asset Editor. But I actually don't think they're the right fit. I don't think they're the right fit. This is what I'm struggling with. I'm gonna just drag this over. So this is what we're looking at. I mean, these are much larger. Oh, hold on. I do actually have some houses kind of like this. I've got exactly these houses. Check this one out. I'm going to leave them there just for a sec. Okay. They're not made by $2. They're made by Leisure. No. Maybe I'll search for Cali. Well, these ones are kind of like, that's better, but it's probably too modern. What are they under? I thought it was Leisure, but maybe I've got the asset. Oh, is that him? Here they are. These are expensive. Oh, damn, not that one. These guys. I think we have a winner. They're not as detailed as the one that I made, but they are still pretty bloody nice. Are they too modern? I mean, maybe those ones with the solar power. I don't know if I can do those ones. Look at these guys. I mean, they're the houses, right? That's more like it, yeah. Pretty calm chat, yeah. Chat's always calm. They're the nicest. I think that's probably it. They're the houses, right? Should I do a little mix? Also add in some of these guys too. They're not the most 80s houses. Well, they probably are. I get a bit confused with when architecture, when certain houses were like were a thing. I just can't use that other one because it's, and these ones are a bit longer, but I won't mess with those ones. Yes, I think some of these are more detailed, but they're a smidge longer. But I can't really use them. Yeah, these ones, a bit longer, and they cost me a bit of money. That good? Someone says. Hey, Kieran Stokes. Good to see ya. Thanks for joining. I'm gonna get rid of the other ones. I think these houses are going to be a perfect fit. So, let's get rid of them. I really want that road, that path to be center. You know? But I don't know if it's going to fit. Let's go like that. If I drag it right in here, then that gets rid of that thing there. Kind of like that. Cool. That doesn't really work. But I don't know if my houses are going to fit there. And these are the growables. So let's just give this a go. My friends, let's just see if this works. I think I want these guys all to be on that house, on that road. No. I think I might do it the other way around. I'm gonna make them all on this road. And maybe this is more of a back street? I mean, it's probably not the perfect road, let's be honest. I feel like I could probably put that, maybe make a different road there, but I'm gonna leave it for now. It's not a good fit. So the path was center, but the road wasn't. Well, I could always drag the road a little bit. I think I'm gonna have to because it's kind of not working out. Let's see what we can do here. Let's just place them, and then we'll move some. Cool. Kill. Now they are a little repetitive, but the good thing is that it's kind of how some of these places look. Let's see if we can fix out some of the spacing. Okay. And let's see. Let's just see if we can kind of squeeze this in. Yeah. That works. Kinda. What do you think? Is that alright? Whew. We're getting there. They look good down there. They look really good down there. A brand new development. I kind of want to actually keep this, I don't know, like a little bit bare. Like, what do you think about bare in terms of trees? Like, let's not go too heavy with the foliage, which is going to be kind of different to what it looks like in this place in real life, but that's fine. I think we do our own thing. And I guess they're probably not the most, probably, I don't know, is this, how 80s is this, guys? Be honest. We're not going to change it. It's just the way it is now. Yeah, probably not gonna change it. Because these houses are probably a little too they're perfect. Need to try and fit a house in there. Alright, so this is what I'm trying to do right now is it's kind of important to me that they are opposite each other. Even if it's not perfect, I want it to look like it at least a little bit. No, that's not going to work. Because that guy's kind of in a weird spot. It's fine. Will it add taller apartments here? I don't think so. I actually think I'm going to keep it fairly low density. What do you think about that? I think low density is the key for this area. Kind of repetitive houses. That's fine. Ugh. Could I squeeze another one in there? I reckon I probably could. And then those houses are going to be opposite each other, which would be nice. That's what we want. Like that. Like that. Thank you, Move It, for being so helpful. That guy's got a slightly smaller block. No apartments? Well, I don't know. What do you guys think? I feel like 80s probably wouldn't really have apartments in that spot. I could be wrong. I could add apartments, but the rest of the city's pretty well built up, so you know? Or is it gonna look weird without any apartments? The university's gonna go here, and I feel like that's gonna be a little bit tall. We could have some apartments on the water. Make a naval base. Make a naval yard. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not really that into that. I mean, I want it in the city, but I don't really want to make it. Casino. Casino, I think, is going to go around this side. Over there. Maybe some apartments on the shoreline. Maybe you're right. Maybe we'll have a couple. Not in this stream. I'm going to go in like 15 minutes. So I'm just going to keep on plopping these guys. Just kind of like this. Now, rooftop-wise, these are pretty on the money, but I feel like, and architecturally pretty close. But then they are also maybe a little post-80s. Maybe just ever so slightly. But we're just gonna have to, I think we just roll with it. Ah, you know what I just realized? I think level 3. Okay. Well, that's not too bad. I just had a little worry there that these guys are gonna struggle. As soon as they press play, they're gonna like complain and hate it because there's like no land value around here. And you know what? They're actually probably going to be honest. So I'm gonna fill some of these gaps, and then we'll have to think about where some parks and stuff are gonna go. And then some services, because as great as this is, they're gonna want some services. That's filling out pretty well. Pretty well. That's filling out pretty well. I think my brain's ready for another coffee. Private airport. I did notice there was like there's like a couple of airports in real life Miami, like down further that way. At a small casino bank. I think a bit of a financial district would actually look kind of cool in the city. I do have a bit of space for it. A park there in the corner. Do you mean in there, Gator? Because that would actually be a good spot for a park. I actually didn't finish this one off. That's just started building somewhere else. Do we have room? Might be pushing it for space. Let's just see how we go. I think that probably would be a good spot for a park though, Gate, because these guys have got nothing at the moment. And they kind of need to be a little bit center of... I can't use that building. Can't use that one. We're gonna go for space. Oh, damn. I guess we could leave some gaps. I could leave some gaps, right? And they could just be new developments, or I could actually I won't place it now, but I've actually got like under construction houses too that I could actually place in those spots. They could actually work well. A waterfront park doesn't sound really that 80s. I agree, but I feel like if this was like a new development, then they would probably have a couple of parks in this sort of area. I think a park here would be probably a good spot for it. Because I imagine that this is all part of the same housing development. In fact, that looks about right. That's probably the right size for it. And if that's all part of the same housing development, like it's kind of somewhat of a new thing, then they would have different types of houses in each block. So I feel like this might be a better spot for maybe some more apartments. That could be kind of good. A mall would be good. That actually would be a good fit for this corner. Now, this triangle. It is a pretty large corner. Like, if you imagine that's like the other one that I built last episode. And this is like double the size. So it's kind of big. But maybe a mall would be good. I'm going to leave some of these gaps just because I feel like they're either like under construction or something will be built there. That actually would be kind of cool to have a bit of just like it's coming. And that's the main road there. So should probably include maybe like a school or something. So maybe a school and a park in this area here. Just looking at Google Earth. Public library. Actually, you know what? Let's have a little look at what am I looking for? Asset. I'm looking for Tom. Is this searching for the right one? No, it's not searching right. Thomas. There we go. Well, I was spelling Thomas wrong. So Thomas has actually got a bunch of very, very excellent and very appropriate houses or buildings that would go here. Some of them are apartments as well. So I'm actually going to rezone that so I can actually place them. But I mean, like, look at places like that. You know, that could actually work well in a little corner. You know, have that as a park, and then next to the park could be like a public library or something. We've also got like flats and stuff like that. Yeah, like a town center or something. Oh, some of them are bloody nice. Oh, actually, in fact, some of these houses could actually be good as... maybe not there, but... I'm just going to place a couple. Just to... feel, but I actually don't think they're going to work. I don't think they'll work there. But they're there. We've also got some big mansions too that we could actually place down at some point. But tennis courts could actually work well. There's like a bunch of things we could actually place in this. Problem is, it's like not exactly a it's always hard working with a triangle like this. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. This could be. I'm just gonna just bear with me. Something kind of like, that's not exactly right. Could use procedural objects. But, you know, we could actually do something like that. Just as an idea. Just an idea, just an idea. Country club, I think we've already got one of them. Man, these places are perfect. I could do like a real mix. What's that? I don't know what that is. A green complex. Is that a house? An LA Fitness? Is that two on the nose? Oh, jeez Louise. Guys, do we have... What do you guys think? I mean, it's a pretty, it fits in pretty well there. But do we want an LA Fitness? Is that like... I don't know, is that... Does that work? Is LA Fitness in other places? Guys, I don't know. I'm not American. I don't really know. I have no experience with LA Fitness. What do you think? Is that perfect? You may spam the chat with perfect if you think this is perfect. Just for 30 seconds. And we could do like a parking lot. Yeah, beautiful parking lots. Something like that. Like this. I've got to connect it to the road, but... Jeez Louise. Just erase the letters? Yeah, I could actually place something over the top. I mean, like people with experience with LA Fitness, does it fit? Doesn't work in the 80s, does it? Yeah, we'll change the name. But I mean, that's an easy fix. I'll just place something on the front there. You know, this could be like a community center. That's easy. I'll just put something over the top of that. And then I'll just put a bit of parking. And then we kind of got this thing going on here. Could place something there. There's like a complex we could place. Could be a bit of a mix. You know? Like a bit of a strip mall in there. A little mall in there. It's pretty good. I'd expect a good amount of buffer landscape around LA Fitness that would be demanded by residents. Yeah, you're probably right, actually. So I'll maybe keep this all like a garden bed. Well, it's pretty close. It's pretty close. Yeah, okay. So I'll get rid of the LA Fitness on it. And then I'll turn it into something else. What should it be then? You know, if this is like in the middle of some sort of residential area, what would it be? Thomas got some good stuff in here. What's that? Oh, see, like that's a little marina there. That could be good somewhere around like these sort of areas. Guys, look at that chunk of land. I never get through this much work in a live stream. I know that like probably doesn't look like much. And we're really only just begun, but that's kind of like a... I'm actually pretty happy with how much we've got done. I do feel like I need to do a bit of a mix of houses, like maybe add in a couple of others, or maybe like some houses as well that are like under construction. I think when we get some parks in between and, you know, expand out a little bit of the industry, I reckon I might even keep this as mostly vacant, as if it's like abandoned or, you know, going to like be developed very soon. I think a strip mall would look good there, but I don't want to make it too big, you know? I want it to be like the size of downtown. LA Fitness was created in 1984. Well, I actually think that Sunset City is 1983. At least that's what I said in the last video. Even though it says 86, kind of blown through a couple of years, but... Hey, my friends, I gotta go. But that was a productive stream and a lot of fun. Thanks for your help with those decisions. I think I might chip away at this in the next... No, not the next episode. Next episode is actually a bit about roads and stuff. It's actually over there. I built all that and in here. There's some bits and pieces I built. So that'll be in the next episode. And then the one after will be this one. Please place Walter White's house. I don't even know if I've got that anymore. I think I might have got rid of it. There it is. Does it fit? Alright, you got it. It's there. It's a little bit of a dated asset, but there it is. Pizza box and pizza on the roof and everything. Yeah, it was fun. Thanks, guys. Really, really appreciate it. Have good Sundays or Saturday nights. Thank you all. Thanks, mods. Thanks for your support. Alright, love you guys. I'll catch you all in the next one. Catch you all later. Goodbye.